Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today I am here with an important topic of abnormal healing. I am Dr. Muhammad Salim Iqbal, Deputy Controller of Examination, Faisalabad Medical University, Faisalabad, Assistant Professor of Surgery, Certified in Medical Teaching from University of Health Sciences, Lahore, Research and Clinical Coordinator to VC, Faisalabad Medical University, Spokesman FMU, Faisalabad. Before I proceed to my topic, I request you to subscribe my channel and press bell icon. Scars. Scars refer to visible marks on the skin that appears upon the healing of an injury or wound. They are typically formed through an increased amount of normal collagen. Scarring is natural part of healing process after an injury. A scar is not bad if it is small or in a location that is easy to conceal. But when it is not, you may anxious to know what are different ways of treatment other than hiding it under your clothes. The type of scar depends on injury, depth and size of wound or cut, location of injury, skin type, age of person, nutritional status, inherited scarring tendency, and many other factors. When we will say that a scar is mature or immature, in the beginning, the scar will be immature, that will be recognized by a red appearance, and scar will be elevated, and patient will say that the scar is very itchy or painful. As the collagen matures and become denser, scar becomes almost acellular as the fibroblasts and blood vessels reduce. The external appearance of scar becomes paler while the scar becomes softer, flattened, and its itching diminishes. Then we will label it as a mature scar. That is, a mature scar will be light colored, flat scar, and it will not painful. Most of these changes occur over the first 3 months, but a scar will continue to mature for 1 to 2 years. Briefly about types of scars. Hypertrophic scars. Hypertrophic scars appear on the wound site in raised, thick, discolored clusters. Atrophic scars. Atrophic scars develop below the skin surface, producing a sunken appearance. They become more prominent with time due to aging. The most common cause of atrophic scar are chickenpox and severe acne. Keloid scars. Excessive collagen production, which continues even after wound healing, leads to tissue overgrowth above skin level and is known as keloid scars. Contracture scars. Contracture scars are generally formed due to an injury that causes significant tissue loss, such as burns or injury to joints. The skin and underlying tissue pull together for healing, often restricting movements. Stretch marks. Striae or stretch marks are formed due to breaks in connective tissues caused by rapid shrinkage or growing of skin. It is common with rapid weight loss, adolescence, pregnancy, and bodybuilding. Other types of scars are adhesion scars and acne scars. This is snapshot demonstrating different types of scars. On my left side, these are stretch marks, adhesion scars. Then on right side, atrophic scars, keloid scars, contracture scars, and hypertrophic scars. General treatment of scar. There are different options. For example, surface treatment, also known as skin resurfacing procedures. These treatments help to remove the damaged skin layer, making way of new and healthy skin to form. Examples are dermabrasions, chemical peels, laser resurfacing. Then injection treatment with dermal fillers, cortisone injections, collagen injections. Then surgery, cryosurgery, punch grafts, surgical scar revisions. And if the scar is resistant to other therapies, radiations may be used. Hypertrophic scars are characterized by erythematous, pruritic, raised fibrous lesions that typically do not expand beyond the boundaries of initial injury. They may undergo partial spontaneous resolution. Hypertrophic scars are common after thermal injuries and other injuries that involve deep dermis. Are you ready for pictures? You will be able to appreciate that there are erythematous raised margins but within the boundaries of initial insult. Keloid is non-cancerous fibrous proliferations that occur in dermis after trauma or injury to skin. Keloids grow beyond the boundaries of original wound site. They are often confused with pathological cousin, which is hypertrophic scar. Etiological factors that determine how a scar becomes a keloid remains unknown. 20 times more collagen deposition than normal scar in keloid. It contains more collagen type 3. Who and why? Individuals with darker pigmented skin or who freckles are more predisposed. Seen largely in Africans Americans, Hispanics, and Asians. Can be familial, genetic predisposition, can be due to immunological causes, and more in females than males. How? What is pathophysiology? A result of an overactive inflammatory response and fibroblast proliferation. A result of an abnormal collagen deposition in healing skin wounds. Skin wound tension is a contributing factor in keloid formation. Individuals with an inflammatory or infectious element are at predispositions for keloids. Are you with me to see pictures of keloids? In these pictures, you can appreciate on left side keloid on anterior chest wall, then keloid at angle of mandible and keloid at shoulder joint. Keloid on ear lobes. One more picture showing keloid. This picture is taken from internet. So what is the problem? Problem is with the treatment options. Different treatment options of hypertrophic and keloid scars. Pressure, local molds or elasticated garments, silicone gel sheeting, intralesional steroid injection, Axion and steroid injection, Axion and post-operative radiation, external beam or brachytherapy, intralesional Axion for keloids only, laser to reduce redness which may resolve in any event, vitamin E or palm oil massage. This is an important table discussing important point to differentiate between keloid and hypertrophic scar. Genetic predisposition, yes in keloid, no in hypertrophic scar. Site of occurrence, chest wall, upper arm, lower neck and ear in case of keloids, and anywhere in body in case of hypertrophic scar. Then growth, keloid continue to grow without time limit and extend to normal skin. Hypertrophic scar, growth limit for 6 months and limited to scar tissue only. Treatment for keloid, treatment is very poor. For hypertrophic scar, good response to steroids. Recurrence is high in keloid and is uncommon in hypertrophic scar. Collagen synthesis is 20 times more than normal in case of keloid and 6 times more than normal in case of hypertrophic scar. Then age, keloids adolescent and middle age, while hypertrophic scar in children. Keloids are common in females and the sex distribution is equal in case of hypertrophic scar. Keloid is more in blacks 15 times and in hypertrophic scar there is no racial relation. As far as structure is concerned, thick collagen with increased epidermal hyaluronic acid in case of keloid, while in hypertrophic scar fine collagen with increased alpha actin. Keloids are vascular, tender and itching. Hypertrophic scar are non-vascular, non-tender and not itching. Natural history of keloid is progressive while hypertrophic scar shows a regression. And with keloid there are problems of hyperesthesia and ulceration and no such problem in case of hypertrophic scar. Contractures, scars that cross joints or skin creases at right angles are prone to develop shortening or contracture. Occurs when the scar is not fully matured. Contracture often tend to be hypertrophic and are typically disabling and dysfunctional. They are more common after burn injuries. Treatment may be simple involving multiple Z-plasties or more complex requiring the inset of grafts or flaps. Splintage and intensive physiotherapy are often required post-operatively. These are figures showing contractures. How we can avoid scarring? If the acute wound has been managed correctly, most of complications should not occur. A dirt ingrained, that is tattooed scar, is usually preventable by proper initial scrubbing and cleansing of wound. Mismatched or misaligned scar results from failure to recognize normal landmarks such as lip vermilion, eyelid and nostril free margins, and hairlines such as those relating to eyebrows. Treatment consists of Axion and resuturing. Poorly contoured scars can be stepped, grooved or pincushioned. Most are caused by poor alignment of deep structures such as muscle or fat, but trapdoor or pincushioned scars are often unavoidable unless the elbow circumferential wounds can be excised initially. Late treatment consists of scar excision and correct alignment of deeper structures, or as in case of a trapdoor scar, an excision of scar margins and repair using W or Z plasty techniques. Suture marks may be minimized by using monofilament sutures that are removed early, that is after 3 to 5 days. Sutures inserted under tension will leave marks. The wound can be strengthened post suture removal by use of sticky strips. Fine sutures 6-0 smaller placed close to wound margins tend to leave less scarring. Subcuticular suturing avoids suture marks either side of wound or incision. Thanks for your attention. If you have any question, you can contact me through my accounts on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook or YouTube. I will dedicate this effort to my mentor, Professor Dr. Zafar Ali Chaudhry. Thanks, sir, for guiding me, inspiring me, and making me what I am today. Stay blessed. Take care. Allah Hafiz.